Hello my lovelies, I am Codex and today we're going to be doing the 1 cube challenge where we have a sim. This is Mayra, and today we're going to be trying to make this go from a nice little cube to a lovely house. Here is the recording of me making Mayra. Any CC I use, I will try my best to relocate as I find most of it on Tumblr, and put the links down below. I've made her a creative, art-loving bookworm with the aspiration of painter. We won't be able to complete our aspiration until we finish the challenge, as that requires us to go to the museum, but in the meantime she can just do the painting still, as it's the best way to earn money for the challenge. I started here on a lot in Newcrest as I thought it would be the best place to start without being bothered by neighbours and getting the negative interactions due to not being able to answer the non-existing door. So the rules for this challenge is quite simple. You start off with no skills, no job, and no simoleons. You put your sim into a 1x1 box and hope to eventually build along into a nice house that is furnished for bathroom, kitchen, living room, and bedroom. I'll post a link somewhere I got the rules down below so you guys can also try out the challenge if you want to. Obviously the end goal is to get the nice house without your sim dying from starvation. So obviously the easiest way to get money is by painting, however that requires buying an easel, which requires money first. So until then we're just gonna have to take a bunch of selfies to earn money, and for some reason the camera kept ending up in the wall, so I would love to know how that worked, as I've watched a lot of people do the challenge on TikTok and they didn't seem to have the same issue. So, who knows? Maybe the sim's a magician. So after an hour has gone by, we have managed to afford a extra cube into the house. However, we need 350 simoleons more to be able to get the easel. So back to selfies as we go. So finally, after some more time, we have enough money to buy an easel, which means we can start her painting career and hopefully her dreams to own a nice house. Unfortunately, we did spend all of our money on the easel, so back to selfies we go, until we can afford to at least paint a small picture. So we can finally paint now, which will earn us a lot more money than taking selfies will get us. And she'll also earn some fame, which I like to think this makes her an artist who wants to share her art with the world but also not have her face revealed, so she's like a hidden celebrity. I don't know. I just think it's a cool idea. And I noticed while we were painting we had a little guest who couldn't seem to try and get us into their little schemes of starting a business. Look at that little raccoon tail. It's very suspicious indeed. So after some time we managed to expand the house a bit, and due to her needs I decided to buy a toilet so she can use it instead of peeing herself in the building and making herself uncomfortable, and it definitely made her a lot more happier. And then we continued to paint to try and earn some more money, as hopefully she needs to sleep and shower soon. After some time, I managed to expand again, and as you saw, we managed to get to celebrity level 1. I think it would be cool to try and make her a global star through painting and maybe writing, possibly game development too, because that'd be another thing she can make while at home. It's definitely on the cards. Unfortunately, we weren't able to afford a bed, so it's back to painting until we can get her a cheap bed just to sleep on for the night, as her needs are getting quite low. She also can't afford a fridge, and she's also getting quite hungry, so we'll probably get some food first and then a bed. So we managed to finally get her a fridge. I got her a small one just because I was hoping she could cut something on it, like maybe make a salad on it, but apparently it doesn't count as a counter. So unfortunately I didn't get to use my little cheat hack idea that I thought of, but it doesn't matter. As long as she can get food, that's all that matters. I got her to paint for a bit longer too, as we need a bed, as she's very tired now, and oh dear, she's just collapsed, so luckily we managed to get her a bed, and that is the first full day of this cube challenge completed. I think we've done pretty good considering she now has a bed, a toilet, a fridge, and an easel. For this, I felt like it would be cheating to get the free money, as tempting as it was. I wanted to do this challenge by earning all the money myself. So obviously I declined this money. I know it gives you like 4,000 simoleons, but still, that would help us quite a lot, and again, I'd rather us do this wholeheartedly by ourselves, you know? So we started a new day. Unfortunately, she's quite stinky, but she's fed, so that's a good thing. We're gonna paint some more to try and earn enough money to get a shower. We'll get one of those like cheap university showers, because that'll be quick and easy as long as we have enough money to expand, and we've managed to expand. Great. And now we just need to get the shower, and hopefully all of her needs will be perfectly fine and we can continue expanding without too many issues. Unfortunately, we spent most of our money on the shower. The money we made from the last painting was not enough to be able to make another one. So unfortunately we're back to making selfies, and then we can hopefully paint again. Hopefully the next medium painting we do will be enough money to continue painting for a little while, and hopefully we won't have to go back to selfies, as they don't really make a lot of money. Like, it's good to start off with, but it's not enough to continue, you know? Because she's quite sad from not having any social interaction, I decided to try and buy a plant. But then I proceeded to remember halfway through playing this that you can't actually talk to plants until you're level 2 in gardening, and obviously to do that, you have to get a lot of plants to be able to level up really quickly. So that plan kind of backfired, but she now has another income, and she also has free food. With day 2 officially completed, we are now upgrading again. We have the simoleon, so I'm trying to work out a little bit on how to lay out this place. The first part we started off with, I kind of wanted to be like a walkway, not a walkway, sorry, a entrance for when she does have her house built. So, you know, where like to take the shoes off, put the umbrellas, coats, and all that stuff. I managed to build a wall between the 2 rooms after making some more money from the painting. I had a little archway to try and like separate them, make it like nice. And after a little while of earning enough money, we expanded again. I do eventually buy some lights just to try and like brighten up the place a little bit. She's still really sad about the whole no interactions, so hopefully we get a call from a mysterious caller that we'll eventually be able to answer, and that way we can have a social interaction with them. After a little while we got this pop-up. I decided that it would be a lot more helpful to have the loner trait, as that way she won't be as sad about not having any social interaction. It'll make things a lot easier, she won't be as sad, but the issue is it still shows up as low. But it'll go down a lot slower than it did originally. The rest of the day just kind of went on, nothing special happened. So the next day, she woke up, we managed to sell some of the strawberries, which made her a bit of extra cash. It's not too much, but it's a little bit, you know, and it also gives her a new skill. And so from now on, we're just going to continue painting and trying to expand as much as we can. So I decided to expand a bit more. I'm trying to work out like a little place for the kitchen. I'm trying to make the house like a unique shape. I try and make houses look quite nice and uniquely shaped. I don't like just doing box houses personally. That's just my preference. Here I'm trying to build like a little cubby bit for the kitchen to try and build out a bit more. I buy a cheap little counter so she's able to make more food, such as like salads. That way she can just keep it all in the fridge after making like a bunch of it. After making some more money, I finally expand the kitchen a bit. I get her some more counters, I buy a new fridge, and I was going to buy some more flooring, but we need a bit more money for that, and I don't want to waste too much money. We managed to somehow make a masterpiece on the figure drawing, so we made some decent money off of that. After a few more paintings, I decided to focus on making a nice kitchen. That way we can cross off kitchen from our list on furnished. I tried adding pillars to separate it, and then I decided to like, you know, just make a whole room out of it. I took some like fiddling around a little bit with the wall system and all that stuff, but I had some like little paneling, and I think it looks nice as a little separation thing here. I don't know, I just like doing stuff like this personally when I come to building kitchens. I like having it like open space near the living room. I also had a little sitting area, like a little bay window. I think that's what they're called. I'm not sure. I'm not that good with architecture or naming. So after selling this painting and booking down for the night, I started wondering why time wasn't going by really quickly. I looked around because I was kind of suspicious it was Vlad, and guess who it was? It was indeed Vlad, hiding in that little corner over there, running around in the rain. And he was just casually singing, so enjoy his little singing, guys. Maybe after this challenge we should try and like, I don't know, like go befriend Vlad, maybe turn him into a human, who knows. Let me know what you guys want us to do next after we completed this challenge, because I would love to continue Myra's story. Starting out in the next day, we sort out her needs, and then we continue painting, as again, my main goal is to finish the kitchen off, so we need to make as much money as possible. So the day went by quite smoothly until we ended up getting a call from Jeffrey. Somehow we caught his eye despite not actually leaving the house, so I'm curious on how we managed to do that since we only gained windows the other day. Who knows? All I can think of is I don't think Nancy would like him calling us saying that we've caught his eye and he's interested in meeting up, personally. So we ended up leveling up our fame, which I'm gonna be completely honest, I completely forgot we were doing that. So I decided to go through and look at the traits. I don't think that is against the challenge. It doesn't really help anyway until we're like leveled up a bit more. I might get the trait that lets us get more money from our art stuff, so you know, I don't think that's against the rules personally, but who knows. So we ended up managing to make another masterpiece which gave us quite a lot of money. So with that money I decided to upgrade her oven. I originally wanted to upgrade a bit more than just the oven, but you know, I didn't know what colour to go with. I was thinking blue to go with the walls, but then I was like, nah, we'll go with white because the blue doesn't really match like the colour scheme personally. I also moved the fridge around because I felt like that would have fit better, and then I can add like a corner piece. And yeah, I just continue to edit the kitchen a bit more. I think it's looking good personally. Again, I love building. I did eventually choose to change the colour scheme, as I thought the yellow looked really nice. It's bright, it adds a little pop of colour. I won't have to change the white, And you know, I feel like a bright kitchen is quite a nice thing to have personally. I mean, if I was to have my own kitchen and design it, I'd probably go with a monochrome, but I feel like this colour is actually really nice. And it's not too in your face, you know? I continue to upgrade the kitchen a bit more after getting some more money. I get a microwave, some chairs. At first I was thinking the yellow would look nice as it pops, but then I feel like matching the colour wood would be a bit better. I forgot to change the colour of the bin, so I changed that to yellow. I also moved the fridge a bit closer as I don't really like the gaps we end up getting between the fridge and counters personally. I don't know if anyone else has that little pet peeve, but that's just one of mine. I decided to make it a goal to get to 5,000 simoleons. So after making that much money, after and sending her to bed, I decided to continue editing the kitchen a bit. I have moved everything to the side, which I have cut out of the editing, as I don't think you guys want to see every tiny little detail I do. So yeah, but yeah, I continue adding some more counters. This is the reason why I wanted to get to 5,000, as I have a habit of buying too many counters at times, and it ends up making me very broke in a sense. But luckily we had enough money to get enough counters, all that I wanted. I did edit a couple of items we already had, so I upgraded the sink. I added some more little decorations. Like, I like adding the little drainer next to the sink personally. I think it's a cute little touch. Also, for anyone who doesn't know the trick on how to move things on your counters, if you hold Alt after moving your counter out the way, it keeps the item at the same level as your counter and it lets you basically place it wherever. A lot of people already know this trick, but I like to say it just in case people don't know it, as there's a lot of tricks I don't know, and I get so frustrated when I see people do them and I don't know how to do them myself. Here you can see me struggling with the blinds in the little bay window I've put. This is another pet peeve of mine with Sims, is that when you do an angled wall and you put a window on it because it fits to the wall, a lot of the blinds and curtains don't. Eventually I managed to find one that fits. I tried adding some pillars to see if they would make it look a bit better, but unfortunately it made it a bit too bonky. Eventually I do build out. As you can see, I felt like I was done with the kitchen. I'm pretty happy with it. So I add another room, and this is where the bathroom's gonna be. Next stop is to focus on the bathroom, as I want her to have a nice bathroom on the ground floor. I do plan to make this a 2-floor house with the bedrooms on the top floor. She'll also have a bathroom upstairs, but since like it's gonna be a decently sized house, I wanted there to also be a bathroom downstairs. I considered adding like a cream or yellow colour scheme, but I didn't want everything in the house to be yellow, so I decided to go with blue, as I personally like blue bathrooms. I don't know if anyone else is the same. It's just my little thing that I like. I decided to keep the university shower for now, and I keep adding little stuff. I added a nice little counter and a new sink, as I thought like the little blue counter fit with the small blue on the wall. After making a bit more money, I decided to build a little conservatory, which is where I plan to keep all the little plants. Although I'm not finished with the bathroom, I decided to work on this now, as I'll end up forgetting, as my memory is as good as a goldfish's. You can see me struggling a little bit with the size here. I did struggle for about a good 5 minutes on trying to decide the size, until I decided to go with like a decent like 3 by 3 basically. Well, 3 by 5 basically. I'd make it a little bit bigger, and I feel like this is a good size. I forget which kits I own, and eventually I do find the windows I'm looking for. It takes me a little minute. I'm very confused here, then I remember that I was filtering it with the wrong kits. So this takes me a couple of minutes. Again, apologies guys. But I really like this kit. I think it's cool with like some of the windows open and then some of them closed. I like the doors and all that stuff. I think the greenhouse one is really nice. I do plan to have a back door in this one for us to go into the garden. But until then, the windows will do nicely. And yeah. Here we got a call from a stranger saying that they're interested in us. And it turns out to be this Aaron guy who I know is from City Living, and he has a wife. I think that's a little bit suspicious, my dude, but who are we to judge, I guess? Because I decided to just like keep like him as a social way, because she needs her socializing. Her plum bob has been red almost the entire time we've been doing this. So yeah, but we now have a friend, guys. We can keep her social up and she can stay happy a little bit longer now. After getting a bit more money, we managed to work on the conservatory a bit more. I managed to add the windows I had to get rid of for a bit of extra cash. And you can see here, roofs are not my friend. I struggle with roofing a lot. Eventually, I ended up just giving up, and instead of trying to do something too unique, I just went for this little roof here, and I used a glass texture to give that way the plants have enough lighting. So yeah, and I decided to make the outer bit a little more bulky so we can have a nice little overview when she has a garden. After an uneventful night of trying to earn money, she finally bunks down, and it has officially been a week of this challenge in Sims time. So we're gonna end here as this video has gone on a lot longer than I expected, and I'll be continuing this soon. I have already recorded this, so the next video should be out as soon as I can edit it. Thank you everyone for stopping by and watching. I appreciate all of you. Consider giving a like, comment, subscribe, and hey, if you guys have done this challenge too, let me know because I'd love to see it. Until next time, bye for now.